when we think about AI, having that all of that data well labeled and well documented doesn't have to be all normalized, right? Meaning it all has to fit into a single model. That's not the case. In fact, it's opposite of that. Keep data as in its source format, so you have expansive and deep data, and then allow the AI and machine learning to be applied against that, but having that supporting definitional data. And so it doesn't have to be like this big bang project. You can start kind of one data set at a time, just keep adding it. And that's what we're doing here at Treasury 4 with our customers, is that we start with their banking data, their statement data, and enriching transactions with transaction categorization and putting that business definition around every single transaction and having it aligned to the statement of cash flows, supporting that with definitions around it, and then adding in other data sets, whether it's investment custody or investment accounting or merchant processing and so forth. And you can keep bringing more and more data into it, but keep it as much in its kind of native format versus necessarily having to standardize it into a fully common data model, which would be impossible. And so by doing that, now you can start driving more and more use cases. And it's a journey. It's not a, here I'm going to flip the switch and everything's just magically on. It is definitely a journey for organizations, but it starts with, where am I at? What do I want to achieve? Kind of near term, midterm, long term, and how do we start just taking it one thing at a time? Now, going back to transactional data, that is a great use case for the application of AI and machine learning, however you wanted to split the two of those, but putting those definitions around that to drive that understanding and be able to then report on all of that data in whatever dimension and whatever question you can come up with, whatever you can put into a prompt, a chat GPT type of prompt to interrogate that. Maybe you want to know your cash flows by currency, by region, by counterparty. What is the flow of funds through this country or corridor? How on average for this particular supplier, how often do we pay them? What's the component of that? Or this customer, how often do they pay? What's their average payment from invoice date to cash receipt date? Whatever question you want to have and whatever prompt you want to come up with against that sea of transactional data ultimately becomes much more effective by having a rich definition around it and all the dimensionality. I heard a comment from a longtime Treasury colleague at a conference earlier this year where she said, Treasury really needs to become prompting experts, how to prompt against the data and really learn. And the better your prompts are, the more benefit you'll get from the analytics or the insights or however whatever the use case you're solving for. And I thought that was actually, I hadn't really framed it that way, but I'd say that's what we're seeing is how well you can prompt it against the underlying data sets that you have.